So moving on to the first main character introduced to the West. Lyn is one of the 3 main characters of Fire Emblem Blazing Sword, known as only Fire Emblem in the West. She's the one that the game starts with, and probably the character who taught many of us how to play Fire Emblem, since her story is a tutorial. Lyn is a great person, and there is a reason as to why she is the girl to score highest on my list. Lyn is not naive, she doesn't need anyone to help her. She's the kind girl who helps random strangers she finds on the field. Lyn is brave and determined, she wants to be stronger to help her friends. Something else I like about Lyn is that she values family and friends a lot. Having lost her own family, she encourages others to keep in contact with theirs. Lyn just feels so much tougher than the other leading girls in the series. She stands up for herself and others, she never hesitates. Lyn feels like that friend you can rely on, that will always have your back, so I really like her as a character. Gameplay-wise, Lyn is pretty much a regular swordmaster. She's fast and skilled, her resistance also tends to be pretty high, but she's frail, with bad defense and HP. Her strength also tends to be pretty low. She does however get bows upon promotion, which is great since it gives her a distance attack. Unfortunately, Lyn is most often the worst main character in Fire Emblem Blazing Sword for me. She just isn't that strong as the other 2, and her speed isn't helping her that much since the 2 of them will double most things too. Another negative point for Lyn is that after her tutorial story, she isn't that important anymore in the story. She's there to help out, and the story could probably have progress as well without her as it does with her. She isn't needed anymore and gets left behind by Eliwood and Hector for the rest of the game, and therefore I can't place her higher even though I really like her personally. Ephraim from Fire Emblem Sacred Stone is a lot like Chrom from Fire Emblem Awakening in the regard that he is a prince who would rather want to be a mercenary. He's strong and determined, and he knows what he wants to do, and he does it. Ephraim is introduced in the game while storming a castle with only 3 knights to help him. He's reckless, but it works out for him, and he gets things done. Ephraim isn't your typical nice guy character. He isn't exactly mean, but he focuses more on the task at hand than being a kind guy. This can kind of lead to him appearing a bit cold or blunt about what others feel, but he actually does care. He cares about his friends, as seen when he often talks with Erika about their memories of Leon. But it doesn't make him blind to trust anyone like his sister does. Ephraim doesn't hand over the Sacred Stone to Leon, it gets taken from him by force. What I like about Ephraim is that he's so determined and confident in himself. If Ephraim wants to go to Grado when the odds are against him, he goes to Grado and defeats them. He's a tough guy who succeeds in what he's set out to do, but is still caring and has time for looking after the Dragon Girl Mir, who kinds we just picked up on this journey. The one thing I dislike about Ephraim personality-wise is his support with Erika. He's actually a bit creepy in that one with the whole stroking her face thing. Maybe that was inspiration for Fire Emblem Fate's face touching thing. Sometimes he can also be a bit too serious, even characters in the game tells him this. It's in gameplay where Ephraim truly shines. He's an excellent unit, and the worst Ephraim I had ever got was still one of the better units in the game for me. He will often max strength, speed, skill, and defense pretty early on. He also has really good luck and HP, and his resistance is usually better than most physical-based units. So to summarize, Ephraim is great in everything. He's also the only main character in the series that specializes in lances, which means that he can use javelins when he arrives. Ephraim will most definitely be one of your best units in the game. He's a tough guy that is really useful, and therefore he has earned a 6th place on my list. Here we find another main character from a GBA title. Hector's a lot like Ephraim personality-wise. He's reckless, he can feel rude, and he's the type of person who acts before he thinks. So what earns Hector a top 5 spot on my list? There are many things to like about Hector, but the one thing I like the most about him is that he's a total bro. Plenty of main characters in the series are known to be friendly characters that will do anything for their friends, but no one else demonstrates it like Hector does. Hector's reason to be in the game is to help out his friend in need. Even if you play Hector mode in Fire Emblem 7, the story is still about Eliwood. Hector is only there to do his best at helping his friend. There's no other main character in the series whose sole purpose is to help out a friend, and Hector remains by Eliwood's side throughout the whole game, even after he finds out that his own brother had died. That's something that I really love about Hector. He doesn't begin the story for justice, for revenge, for love, or any of those common things. He owns the story for his best friend, and I have always loved Hector and Eliwood's friendship in Fire Emblem 7. Something that Hector is known for is how great he usually turns out as a unit in the game. Hector isn't your usual all-around main character that doesn't really excel in anything. Hector's more like a typical general who's got good defense and strength, but he's a bit on the slow side. The thing is, Hector usually becomes faster than most generals, so he does double most enemy units with the exception of the really fast ones. My Hectors have all ranged from really great to really awful for me. He's usually a wild card, so I haven't been as lucky with Hector as I know many others have. There was this one time that I had a Hector that by endgame had 8 in speed and around 16 in strength and defense. So yeah, Hector's been terrible for me, but it usually turns out great, so he's someone you can mostly rely on. So finally we have arrived on the character that started it all. Without this guy, there wouldn't be any of the others. Since Marth originated on an NES game, one can expect him to be rather bland in personality, which is somewhat true. However, his games have gotten remade, and Marth is one of very few characters in his games that actually gets developed, so there are things to say about his personality. Sure, there isn't as much as there is to say about later characters, but there's still plenty to go from. If one plays the prologue of Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, Marth is actually the youngest out of all main characters when his game begins. While he isn't very experienced at age 14, he already shows signs of leadership qualities and most of all his kindness. We get to follow Marth's story from when he was forced to flee his home country at age 14 to when he becomes king of the entire continent at around age 20, over 2 games. There aren't any other main characters in the series that we follow that long. Marth's most notable trait is his immense kindness. He really wants to help everyone, but he doesn't let it cloud his eyes. If there's something that must be done, he does it, even if he doesn't like it personally. Marth doesn't like fighting, he's a very peaceful person, but he puts everyone else above his own feelings and does what is needed of him. He's a true leader that puts the good of the world above his own needs. This is something he already demonstrated at age 14, when he was forced to put his own well-being over others, no matter how much he hated the idea of doing that. Something else that I like with Marth is that when playing his games, you get the impression that he's educated and involved in what's going on in the world. Many of the other main characters always have someone to ask many questions to about their simplest things that they should probably know. Marth's the one to explain things. He already knows about things that a prince should do. When it comes to gameplay, Marth's biggest downfall is that he can't promote. Sure, he can level up to level 30, but he still has 10 levels less than other units, and he doesn't get any promotion gains. Oddly, this doesn't affect Marth too much. He has always turned out great for me, and is one of the most useful units in any of these games. In Fire Emblem 12, he even gets boosted by the Shield of Seals, which makes him great as a unit, so the shield also gives him the ability to open chests, so you don't have to bring a frail thief to do it. Marth's personal weapon Falcon will also make him destroy dragon units, so in late chapters, Marth will be one of your top units. Even though Marth is blander than some other main characters, he has a top spot for me. He was the very first one, and he's also partly responsible for making Fire Emblem release outside Japan, with his popular appearance in Smash. So in a way, Marth has been the beginning for all of us. He truly is a legendary hero king, both in game and for all us Fire Emblem fans. So entering top 3, we find the last of the GBA main characters, Eliwood. I often feel that Eliwood doesn't get the recognition he deserves. Most people tend to like either Hector or Lyn more. I think that one of the reasons for that is gameplay. Eliwood tends to be a hit or miss for most people. He will either become great or really bad. He doesn't specialize in anything like Hector and Lyn does. He's more of an all-around character. The thing is that for me, Eliwood has always become the best of the 3 main characters of Fire Emblem 7 by far. I always get amazing Eliwoods. He's good in every stat, while Hector and Lyn always tend to have trouble with something. I understand that I've probably been very lucky with him, but because of that, I view Eliwood as the best of the 3 lords of Fire Emblem 7. So moving on to how Eliwood is as a character, it's clear that he's a true main character of Fire Emblem Blazing Sword. Lyn is only important in the tutorial, and Hector's just there to help Eliwood out, so this isn't debatable. Eliwood starts his journey trying to find out his father's whereabouts, and he ends up helping all kinds of people along the way. What I like about Eliwood is how noble he feels. He's a kind guy who's always there to help. He's a man of action. If he sees someone in trouble, he will help them, even if it's got nothing to do with him. He sees what's truly important, and he's not afraid to act when he feels that he needs to help someone. A good example of that is when he yells at Queen Helen for being a bad mother to Sophia. Eliwood is probably the main character in Fire Emblem that feels the most real to me. During the course of this game, we get to see him happy, we see him crying after his father's death, we see him angry while he's fighting Nurgle. He's a very kind and polite person, but he can get angry. He's the type of person who always does his best. He doesn't want to be a bother to anyone. Even when he's miserable, he wants to contribute his part and stay strong because he doesn't want others to worry about him. While he isn't as determined and straightforward as other characters, he does act and speak up when it really matters. And to me, it does make it feel more serious when it's Eliwood who is saying something. Eliwood will always be one of my favorite main characters in Fire Emblem, and I do hope others will start to appreciate him more. But there are 2 other characters that I like more than this guy. Second place goes to Ike from Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. Path of Radiance was the first Fire Emblem game that I played. But Ike didn't earn this high spot just because he was the first main character I encountered in Fire Emblem, but I will admit that it didn't hurt his chances. Let's start discussing Ike as a unit in Fire Emblem. Considering that Ike is in 2 games, I will start with the first one, Path of Radiance. Ike is a strong, skilled, and fast unit. He's got pretty good defense and decent luck. A typical physical unit, he's similar to a mercenary. You will probably have no problems with Ike. He promotes a bit later than your other units, but compared to the other lords in the series, Ike's got nothing to worry about. Once you obtain his personal weapon, Ragnar, Ike will be your best unit in the game unless you have gotten really screwed over with him. Not much has changed in Radiant Dawn. He's still a strong, skilled, and fast unit, and this time he actually is of the hero class. In Radiant Dawn, however, Ike arrives already really great. You will have no difficulties whatsoever training him. The one thing that brings him down here is a really late promotion compared to the other units you use, but this is easily solved with the Paragon skill. Once again, Ragnar makes Ike one of the best units you'll get in the game. So to summarize, Ike is a great character that you will have no troubles with. You'll rarely get a bad Ike. Moving on to Ike as a character, here are the biggest reasons to why Ike has gotten a second place on my list. Ike differs from the other main characters in that he isn't of noble birth. Ike doesn't have any kind of responsibility to the world. He's just a normal guy who acts because he wants to, not because he needs to. Ike is unusual in his own world because he's unprejudiced. He sees everyone as equal. It doesn't matter if you're like Goose or Bjork, if you're from Dayin or Benja, if you're rich or poor. He judges you for how you are as a person. If you're an evil asshole, he will tell you that. He doesn't care if it's not in his place to do so. In Ike's view, he has as much right to express himself as a noble does. Unlike Micaiah, Ike always fights what he believes in. He doesn't do what higher-ups tells him to do, or what is expected of him. He has a will of his own. He's confident and straightforward, but he's not afraid to ask for help from others. He wants to learn from others. He wants to be a good leader for his mercenary company. He accepts to help out with things that he's needed for, even if he doesn't really feel comfortable with it, like when he becomes a lord to lead the armies in Path of Radiance. He's a good friend, but he's always there for you, even if the rest of the world would hate you for something ridiculous as being branded. Ike doesn't give a shit. You're still you. Ike's a good person who shows gratitude to people who have helped him. He's the type of person to encourage you to do things you want to do, when others would tell you to step back and let others handle it for you. He will help you to attach your scabbard and offer to help you out when others would tell you to stay away from the battlefield. To me, Ike is the person I think most people should strive to be more like. He's a good role model. He might be a bit blunt and appear a bit sour, but that doesn't matter. Those are minor details in a great character that was needed in the world of Teleus. And there's only one other main character in Fire Emblem that I like more than Ike. Taking the #1 spot is one of the main characters from my favorite Fire Emblem game, Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy Wars, Sigurd. Sigurd is a character that is great in nearly every single way. He's easily one of the best units in Generation 1, he's a great leader, a great person that unfortunately suffers a tragic end. I'll start with why Sigurd is one of the best units in Generation 1 of Fire Emblem 4. Unlike all the other main characters in Fire Emblem, Sigurd joins as a pre-promote. He's got great base stats and good growths. He will dodge most things when he arrives, and what he doesn't dodge, he tanks. Sigurd is an unstoppable killing machine, and he will remain great throughout his entire story. When he starts to fall a little behind some of the other characters, he obtains his holy weapon Turfing. Once again, Sigurd is an unstoppable killing machine in a game where movement is needed. Sigurd joins it more than most of the others. Sigurd is never a liability for you. He doesn't need to wait for a promotion to become great. Sigurd arrives already that great, and when he gets his silver sword in the first chapter, he's unstoppable. And what else is it that makes Sigurd so great? Sigurd is a bit older than the other main characters, and it is very noticeable. Sigurd isn't inexperienced, he's not naive. Sigurd doesn't ask others for advice, they are the ones asking him for advice. He's a true leader, he doesn't speak to people like he's better than them, and he treats everyone as his friend. He's someone you can rely on, and he will do anything for family and friends. His entire journey begins just because his childhood friend got kidnapped, and he wanted to alone set out and save her until some loyal knights joined him. Even when he got plenty of personal problems bothering him, he still takes his time helping and worrying about others. He shelters Shannon, a young prince of an enemy nation, because he knows Shannon has nothing to do with this current conflict. He also worries about the orphaned heiress after Eldigan died, even though Sigurd had plenty of his own problems going on. He is a truly strong person. No other main character had to take as many downfalls as Sigurd did, and he still pressed on, knowing it wouldn't end well for him. There's just one thing after another happening to this guy, who only wanted to do good in the world. He has to fight one of his best friends, his father gets accused of murder, he gets branded a traitor, his wife is kidnapped, he has to flee and take shelter in a neutral nation. He watched his father die, he parts with his son because he knows he might die. Shortly after, his sister and friend gets massacred. Sigurd just can't catch a break, but he remains strong for everyone else. He presses on, and how is he rewarded in the end? He gets executed on false accusations after being taunted by Arvis, showing him his lost wife, who's now Arvis's wife. Yeah, Arvis taunts him with his own wife, who's brainwashed, and then proceeds to burn Sigurd to death along with most of his army. Sigurd was a great character, the one who felt the most like a leader, the one who had the most odds against him. He was so close on making it when he was betrayed, and that resulted in a way too early death for this great man. It will take years for Sigurd's name to be cleared, but all of us who played this game know that Sigurd was an amazing character, and I can't have no other person than him as my #1 spot on this list. That wraps up my top Fire Emblem main characters list. Thanks for watching my video. You probably have a different opinion from mine, so do feel free to leave a comment about it if you want. I love hearing about other people's thoughts, so don't be afraid to share yours. Once again, thanks for watching my video. Feel free to watch some of my other videos if you have nothing better to do.